Melody Shari finally walked out victorious, and you could almost feel the internet celebrating with her. Everywhere you looked, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, people were cheering, posting, and commenting. Mel deserves this. Because honestly, after everything she's faced, this moment felt long overdue. From the early days of Love and Marriage Huntsville to all the real-life battles that played out both on and off camera, Melody has fought her way through storms most people wouldn't even survive. This victory wasn't just about a court ruling. It was about justice catching up. It was about finally seeing her stand tall without having to fight back anymore. It was peace finally knocking at her door. Viewers who followed her journey since season 1 know the weight behind this win. They've seen her raise her kids, handle her businesses, manage public scrutiny, and still show up with grace on screen. She's been the face of strength for a long time, even when people tried to drag her down. So when the judge ruled in her favor, it was like the universe finally said, enough, she's earned her peace. And right as fans were celebrating that, here comes Cece, calm, cool, collected, popping up on a live stream. Now, if you know Cece, you know she's not the type to come in messy. She doesn't need to throw shade to make a point. But sometimes it's not about what's said. It's about how it's said. She started off cool, saying she was just glad the judge didn't entertain what she called a frivolous lawsuit. That one word, frivolous, had people sitting up in their seats, because Cece doesn't throw words around for fun. When she says something is frivolous, she's sending a message. She's saying someone wasted their time, or maybe they were just trying to make noise for attention. And once she said that, the internet did what it always does. It ran wild. People started decoding her tone, replaying clips, writing long comments under the live. Some were saying she was calling out Martell's side for trying to drag Melody through yet another legal mess. Others thought she was just speaking facts. Either way, the energy in that live changed instantly. Cece went on saying she was glad the judge ruled in Melody's favor and that maybe now everyone could finally move on. But instead of calming people down, her words sparked even more conversation. Because when it comes to this situation, nothing stays quiet for long. The Love and Marriage Huntsville fandom is one of the most passionate fan bases out there. Every comment, every expression, every word turns into a conversation thread of its own. As Cece kept talking, she got a little distracted, mentioning some behind-the-scenes YouTube stuff, something about scheduling tea talk with your girl for 5 o'clock. She laughed, not even sure what time that would be for her. It was that natural Cece charm. Serious 1 minute, lighthearted the next. But even while she was laughing about time zones, her chat was blowing up with messages about Melody. Congrats to Melody. Justice served. She finally got what she deserved. The comments were rolling in faster than she could read them. Cece nodded and said, absolutely, congrats to her. And the way she said it, you could hear that she meant it. It wasn't just lip service. It came from genuine respect. Then she said something that really hit home. She said she was glad it ended that way because imagine being sued when you're not even on the show anymore. That line hit people deep. Because it's true, Melody had already moved on from the show, trying to build peace outside of the drama, yet somehow it still found her. Cece reminded everyone that Melody never wanted to keep fighting. She just wanted peace. That moment right there changed the tone of the whole live. The chat started flooding with heart emojis, people saying, yes, she deserves rest, and Mel's been through enough. You could tell that the audience wasn't just gossiping, they were feeling it. Cece said what so many had been thinking quietly. Melody has been dragged, judged, misunderstood, and yet she still stood strong. She called Melody a fighter, and the audience agreed. Because it's true, through every betrayal, every headline, every scene that broke her heart on national TV, she never lost herself. Cece's voice softened as she spoke, and it didn't feel like commentary anymore. It felt like understanding, like one woman speaking up for another who's been through too much. Then things got interesting, because as Cece shifted the topic slightly, she brought up Martell Holt, and you could feel the whole energy of the chat shift. People leaned in, waiting to see what she'd say next. Now, Cece didn't come at him directly. She's too smart for that. But she said just enough for people to read between the lines. She mentioned how much Melody had been through dealing with Martell and that she probably is still dealing with things behind the scenes. And if you've been following their story, you know exactly what that means. The public arguments, the co-parenting battles, the uncomfortable tension, it's all been there for the world to see. Martell has been a constant part of Melody's healing process, whether she wanted him to be or not. So when Cece acknowledged that, it felt real. She balanced it perfectly, never too messy, never too neutral, just honest. She told viewers to hit the like button and said, "Let's try to get the likes up to 50. And everyone laughed. That's her trademark, keeping the vibe light while still discussing serious stuff. Then she opened the chat saying she'd drop a link if anyone wanted to join the conversation. But even as people got ready to talk about other topics, the Melody conversation wasn't dying down. And here's where it took a funny twist. Cece tried to switch to another topic, something about the Real Housewives of Potomac and a woman named Stacey D. Rash. She mentioned some guy named TJ who supposedly had a contract to play her boyfriend for storyline purposes. And in that contract, it allegedly said he'd get 50% of her salary from the show. That comment sent the chat into chaos. People were losing it. There's no way that's real. Bravo wouldn't allow that. 50%? That's crazy. Cece laughed, said she didn't believe it either, and made it clear she wasn't calling it fact, just something she saw circulating. That's what people like about her. She doesn't push rumors as truth unless there's proof. She broke down the details calmly, asking smart questions. Why was only one person's signature visible? Was the date even accurate? Did it line up with the filming schedule? It was sharp, thoughtful, not messy. But even then, her chat was keep circling back to Melody. Someone typed, "So if that case with Melody is finally done, does that mean Martell's next?" You could see Cece smile a little. She didn't answer it straight on, but she said, "Well, I think the judge told him he can't bring anything else for now." And baby, that one line blew up the chat. People started connecting dots, saying Martell is finally realizing it's time to stop. Maybe this chapter really is closing. Cece chuckled, brushed it off, and moved forward. But everyone was already deep in speculation mode. That's the thing about her lives. You never know if she's saying more than she means to, or if she just knows how to keep people talking. Either way, she had everyone hooked. As the live went on, she kept the vibe cozy, just chatting away. She admitted her food delivery was late, over 2 hours late, and the whole chat was laughing about it. It made her relatable. But right after, she dropped another thoughtful comment. She said, sometimes in reality TV, people do whatever they have to do to keep their storylines interesting. And then she added, but that's not always worth the price. And that line, it landed hard. Because everyone instantly thought about Martell. How chasing fame and control had cost him so much. His marriage, his peace, and now even his reputation. It was like Cece didn't have to name him. Everyone already knew who she meant. She balanced it perfectly, never too messy, never too neutral, just honest. She sold the comments around saying not everyone wants to live in chaos. Some people just want peace. And again, the audience tied that back to Melody, because that's exactly what she's doing, choosing peace, walking away from the noise, building a quiet kind of happiness. By this point, Cece's tone was gentle and reflective, and the chat had calmed down. People were saying things like Mel's glow up is her revenge and she's winning quietly. Cece agreed with the sentiment. She said, truth always wins, even if it takes time. And that's how she wrapped up her commentary on Melody. Simple, honest, powerful. But of course, the internet wasn't done. As soon as the live ended, clips started popping up everywhere. Short edits of Cece saying frivolous lawsuit were circulating like wildfire. Some people praised her for defending Melody. Others said she was being shady. The whole fandom split right down the middle, debating what she really meant. Twitter threads popped up with people analyzing her every facial expression. YouTube comment sections filled with arguments. Some saying Cece has always supported Melody. Others saying she's trying to stay neutral. What's funny is Cece probably didn't mean to start a firestorm. But when you're talking about anything connected to Melody, Shari, and Martell Holt, everything becomes news. The fandom is emotional, loyal, and deeply invested. They've seen these people's lives unfold for years, and at this point, it's more than entertainment. It's personal. As days passed, that one live kept trending. People clipped it, reposted it, reacted to it. Even other YouTubers started weighing in, breaking down every word. Some said Cece was speaking truth others were scared to say. Others said she was sending a message to Martell indirectly. And others said it was just an honest reaction that got blown out of proportion. Either way, the timing could not have been more perfect. Because while Cece was speaking her truth, Melody was out there living hers, finally, freely, and without apology.